I want to address the Matric grade 12 learners, man, because it's very important that we guide them throughout the year. And this is so important. I want to bring to you 12 main mistakes that grade 12 learners do during their Matric year. I am bringing up these mistakes so that you don't have to perform those mistakes, so that they are optimal in getting better results, in passing with flying colors. You don't want to do these mistakes if you want to make it out there, man.
Advice for Matric grade 12 learners. Road to varsity.
Number one, not starting to study right away. Not starting to study right away. Because now it's one of our common mistakes, because here you are, it's the first term, it's the first week of the first term, and for some reason you don't study because you believe that the very first week is not for studying. It's a problem, because now that's where you get the basics, that's where you get the concepts, that's where you get warmed up, that's where you get one of the most important stuff. And if you miss those classes, then how are you going to understand the more complex stuff? So you start right away. Another benefit of starting right away is your work doesn't have to pile up, so that when it's exam time, you are revising instead of starting afresh, having to go back to study. So another advantage or benefit about that is that it's a confidence booster, because it's the easy stuff that will boost you to create that momentum for you to be able to be in a position where you make it. So study right away. First week, first classwork, first homework. Get on it, man. And it will help you to revise and be ahead of your class. You get what I'm saying? So that whatever comes your way is revision. You get to understand it better. And you know, sometimes it's hard to grasp the concepts on your own, but it will be more simple, man. When you start wrestling with that content and then go to class and they explain it to you, you catch it that fast. That's the first mistake, not starting right away. Number two, you're too afraid to ask questions. Being too afraid to ask questions. I don't know, maybe you are in a class of 25, maybe 30, maybe 40, even 60 in worst case scenarios. One of the most common mistakes, you'll find yourself not understanding some concept, and for some reason you're afraid to ask. The teacher asks any question you don't want to ask because you are scared, because you're afraid, because you don't want people to laugh at you, because you think it's a stupid question. Tell you what, better to ask that question than that question coming out at the end of the year and it's you and that question paper. And then who's laughing now? Who's ashamed now? Who's scared now? So accustom yourself to asking more questions, man. If you are you are an introvert and all those things, it's okay to go to your staff room, to the staff room of your teacher and say, I couldn't get this concept. Help me with this concept. I couldn't ask in class. You get what I'm saying? They may shout at you, they may make nasty comments sometimes, because teachers are not the same. Some are passionate than others. But at the end of the day, you got what you wanted. So don't be ashamed to ask questions, man, where you don't understand. Just be honest with yourself, be humble, and bear in mind, you will be the one with the last laugh at the end of the day. Number three, negative friends, negative peers. What do I mean by that? Because now every class has those cool guys. Every class has those cool ladies who prioritize miniskirts and all those things. Every class has those cool guys who, are more concerned about the label of their trousers of their uniform than their studies. Every class has those people who don't care or care less about having to put in the work to study. You have to be careful of the cool guys, the famous guys. Be famous out of how many marks you got last term or last year. Be famous out of how many trophies you scooped. Those are the kind of people you are supposed to pick up. You're supposed to have. So stop prioritizing cool friends over focused friends. So you have to make sure you self-introspect. This kind of friends, are they the friends that want to go where I want to go? You know you want to go to UCT. You know you want to go to Stellenbosch. You know you want to go to UKZN or UP or Witwatersrand. You know you want to see yourself somewhere. But you keep moving around with people who want to see themselves in some technical somewhere, who are aiming low and don't care. All they care about is the status, fame status at school. Man, you're not going to make it if you have that mentality. So get rid of that mentality and have a mentality of focus, discipline, studying. People who brag about how many marks I got instead of how many chicks or how much I got or how many followers I have on my Instagram. So make sure that you stick with good company, because bad company corrupts good behavior. I don't want to emphasize much on this one. It's self-explanatory. Stick with the right friends. Stick with the focused friends. Stick with the friends that is an asset to you. That friend that when you don't understand, you say, show me, I don't understand here, man. It seems like you get this thing. How do we do this thing? They're able to sit you down and explain stuff to you. That's the kind of friend that you're supposed to have. That's the kind of friend you're supposed to stick to. So stick to those kind of friends. Number 4, developing bad attitude towards certain subjects. Yeah. Developing bad attitude towards certain subjects. Yeah, here you are. If you're a science student, yeah, man, I like speed. I like, my home language. I like English. I like the poems and stuff. But when it comes to the big shots now, I'm talking pure mathematics. I'm talking physical science. I'm talking life science. You have an attitude. Life science is hard. Accounting is hard. You are not going to go anywhere if you have a certain attitude on a certain subject. You're not going to do well on that subject. So don't do that to yourself. You have to love them all equally. Have that attitude to say, if I can understand English, then I can understand this physics. If I can understand this, home language of mine, then I can understand this accounting. If I can understand these novels and all those things, then I can understand this hard subject. It may take me 2 hours more than the average student in this class, but I will make sure I sit down and grind until I get it. So you just have to grind, man. You grind and you grind hard, man. Know yourself, know who you are. You get what I'm saying? Having certain attitude on certain teachers because of their reputation, because of what they do outside school, because of the stigma that they have, because of their behavior. You saw your teacher somewhere doing 1, 2, 3, or you heard your teacher doing 1, 2, 3, or based on his or her past reputation, you switch off when they enter. Because they are dating your friend, you're not going to learn. When it comes to learning, stop having certain attitudes towards certain teachers or certain subjects. And you will learn. You put your differences aside when it comes to the classroom. That's your teacher and you are the learner. You get what I'm saying? So be in a position where you don't do all those things, man. Developing certain attitudes. Don't do that, man. Well, I'm going to stop right here, man. Please check out part 2 coming real soon. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss the next part 2 coming soon of the main mistakes Matric learners do in grade 12. Man, I'll see you in another video. Cheers.